Yo guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic afternoon. Now today's episode, we are taking a look at 3 things you probably did not know the Pekka could actually do in Clash Royale. These are insane glitches that even I was getting surprised at when I saw them for the first time. They're crazy. Now before the video officially starts, let's smash 540 likes on today's episode. You guys have been killing it. On our last video, in under 8 hours, we got a total of 3.2 thousand likes. Thank you so much. And let's continue on to see these 3 things that you did not know about the Pekka card. Now coming in at number 1 is the Pekka and Tombstone glitch. Now 8 months ago when the game was first released, cards like the Witch and Pekka, any big card that had a pretty big dimension, could actually go behind a tombstone at the back of the map. This glitch was great for getting build-ups because it meant that you could just keep your card at the back of the base, and then when the time was right, you could go for a big push, and the tombstone duration was like 40 seconds back in the day, so your Pekka is like sitting there for 40 seconds. That's a lot of time and a lot of stalling, and it's a very effective glitch. Now the reason why most players don't know about the Pekka Tombstone glitch is because the Witch is a way better card to do this strategy with, as she does spawn skeletons, and she's kind of like an extra spawner, while the Pekka, he just sits there and does nothing, and it's kind of like you're wasting 7 elixir and making yourself vulnerable, like placing down an elixir collector that doesn't make any elixir back. Now, if any of you have watched the Supercell podcast, which is on News Royale, they have talked about the Mega Pekka. What the Mega Pekka is a way bigger Pekka that costs 10 elixir, that does double the damage, but is way slower, so it's like even more powerful than the Pekka for what it does, but its weaknesses are a bit more amplified, so it's a very intimidating card, but very weak to skeleton armies. Now, according to the podcast, the Mega Pekka was actually tested on a Supercell private server. It sounds crazy, but if you don't believe me, watch the podcast. You can easily find it on Clash Royale on the news tab. It's pretty easy to find. And when I first saw this screenshot, I was so like getting hyped because the Pekka is my favorite card in the game. Now, if we take a look at the actual image on the left, it has a big sword. It has tank treads, which I find is cool and a bit more futuristic for Clash Royale. But it has a windy toy thing on the back of it, which looks kind of like cheesy, so please remove that. Now, the second thing you probably did not know about the Pekka was the log and river glitch. This was discovered by Eclipse and his friend Jewish Louis, and what this glitch basically is the Pekka walks close to the river, and then you log it, and it goes to the other side of the river. So it's kind of like creating a fake bridge. Not the most groundbreaking glitch ever, but as a first-time player, when I first witnessed this glitch, I was pretty shocked, so it's not a bad one. And if you even take a quick look at the gameplay, for 1 second, the Pekka is inside of the water. That is pretty cool. Now, a Spanish YouTuber also had a screenshot of his Pekka glitch happen, and just like a current gameplay, he had a screenshot of the Pekka inside of the water, but this time it's a bit more deep inside the water. Its head is almost below the water. I think this is Photoshop because the quality is a bit low, and something about the Pekka's head does look a bit off. Now, what I think Supercell should do about the log card and this effect is that when it does hit a card near the river, the card doesn't just hover over the river, but it actually goes inside and dies instantly. Maybe on water maps, it like drowns for a bit, but on maps like Pekka Playhouse and the Legendary Arena, where there's like lava and air in between the 2 bases, it just dies instantly with no cool effect. Maybe in the lava arena, they could show the card sizzling inside the lava pool, but that might just be a bit too gruesome. And here is another example of this Pekka glitch happening, but this time with 2 logs. Now, I myself have never seen this glitch happen in an actual Clash Royale game, but I've seen a pretty weird Hog Rider leap, where he leaps like 5 tiles. That's pretty cool. Like, comment down below, what's the craziest glitch you've actually seen? Now, you guys probably forgot about this other glitch, and that's with the bomb tower. If you rotate throughout your cards before you do place them down with the bomb tower, for some reason, the bomber does not show. He actually becomes invisible. Now, apparently, this glitch is instead a Supercell Easter egg, which is a pretty cheeky thing. Now, this relates back to our other leak post of the Ghost card. Now, what the Ghost card is a 1 elixir troop or a 2 elixir troop, we don't exactly know, that is invisible, but when you place it down for the first time, it shows itself for a small duration, but then it goes completely invisible and has a mallet that only works once, but it takes up the entirety of a skeleton army. So this was to be the hard counter for the skeleton army, but just like the Mega Pekka, it was tested and it became overpowered or just useless, so they decided to kill the card entirely. Now, for the rest of today's episode, we are going to be talking about the brand new leak post, which exposes 4 new cards, new balance updates, and also new game modes and gem discounts, so a pretty cool update. Now, the first new card is a Goblin Chalet. Now, that is basically a mini Goblin hut, but it only spawns Goblin cards. You guys can read the specs if you want to, but I'm not going to go too in-depth, as I can't really comprehend what they're exactly saying. Now, the Goblin Ninja is sort of like the invisible ghost card that we talked about earlier, and I'm guessing it's going to be about 2 elixir. Now, I'm guessing that when you place this card down for the very first time, your opponent can see a quick glimpse of it, but then it kind of has a nice shady effect where it's hard to see it, but you can still see the outline of the card. Towers will be able to hit this card, but your opponent can still see where it is if they have a very close eye. Now I'm guessing that in a very intense game where there's tons of cards, maybe it's a WLX or game mode, this card is going to be a very sneaky assassin that your opponent is going to have a lot of time identifying. This card is going to be prime at shanking towers, doing a lot of tower damage, a lot of poking damage, and also taking out very expensive supporting cards like wizards and executioners. That's what I'm guessing. Now our third card is a Goblin Elder. This is a very interesting card that I'm hyped to see because if you read it carefully, it is basically a very slow spear goblin with extra range that when it does lose a bit of HP, it sips a holy water cup on its left hand and it regains a lot of HP. So what's going to happen in the gameplay is that if you don't focus down this card, it is not going to die. It is just going to simply shake off the damage you did to it before and then regain it over time through its holy water ability. When I first read that it said holy water, I thought it was like a new type of like, how there's like gems, there's coins, there's elixir in the game. I thought it was a new type of like resource, but instead it's just a very cool effect that this card specifically has. Now our fourth and final lead card is the Berry Spell. Now think of it this way, as an example, there's a big group of cards approaching your tower, you place the berry right in the middle of all of them, and they then disperse 360 degrees from the berry. So it's kind of like nobody likes the berry because it smells like ass, so they're trying to get away from it. Think of it that way, you're just trying to get away from the berry, so your cards don't care what lane they're in. They're going to go in random directions just to avoid the berry. And that is it for our 4 league cards. Now here are a couple of minor challenge changes. That includes changing the classic challenge price to 7 gems from 10 gems. And also the grand challenge going down by a massive percentage of 25% from 100 gems to 75 gems. So if you want to get big rewards, then make sure to play the tournaments because those are going to give you the best value. And there's also an anniversary pack, which I don't know exactly when that will be released. I don't have the date, but it says that you can get 500 gems, 10,000 gold, and a giant chest, or 25,000 gems, 10,000 gold once again, and a magical chest. And the biggest one, 6.5k gems, that's a crap ton, 100 gold, 100k gold, my bad, and a super magical chest. And there's actually a lot of game adjustments. Winning gold from March 17th to April 17th will double, so if you play consistently, play a lot because you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. Goblin Hut will be renamed the Spear Goblin Hut. I'm guessing because of the new Spear Goblin, not Spear Goblin, but Goblin Hut that only spawns goblins. That's still like concur with that. The store's epic card price is being reduced once again because not enough people do buy epic cards, I feel. You can also add a friend, which is cool. The clan chest is being adjusted to every week, and they're also adjusting the crowns needed for smaller clans to get the clan chest, which is pretty cool. So if you ever want to get a lot of crowns, then join a clan because you're going to be getting a lot more bank. Furthermore, there's a new task chest, which means that every day there's a daily special or a daily task that if you do complete it, you're going to get a pretty decent reward. And they're also bringing back custom tournaments. And it doesn't stop there. They're also making arena adjustments, league mechanics. So in a very brief description, they're making it so that when you basically climb the ladder in Clash Royale, it's like a tournament that the higher trophies you get when the season does reset, you're also given compensation for your efforts in climbing the ladder. This is great because honestly, I find that there's no point of pushing trophies at the moment. I'd rather just lay back and face lower level opponents to get my crown chest filled up and just do tournaments to compensate for all of those card levels. But this will change the game, meaning that when you do climb ladder, when you do actually push trophies, you're doing it for a purpose, to get more gold, to get gems, and to get a crap ton of cards. If we take a look at the first place position, which is 4k and above trophies, you're given 5,000 gems, 80,000 to 120,000 gold, and 3.2k cards. So just from getting the 4k trophies, you're given $150 about worth of Clash Royale content. Pretty cool stuff. I love what they're doing, and this game mechanic does change, then those low level players getting trolled by high level players, that will happen a lot less because those high level players will have reason for once to be in a high trophy count. And finally, the last part about this leak is a balance change. Lumberjack getting a big buff. The card's got good speed, good DPS, but its rage effect is kind of useless and always gets wasted, and the point of the card is to land your rage, and people don't know how to do that yet, so it's kind of like obsolete. Dark Goblin getting a big attack speed buff, and with an increased rate of fire, the Dark Goblin might be a hard counter to the Skeleton army, because with this new rate of fire, maybe he can one-shot skeletons fast enough before they do approach him, and with his long range and his decent speed, he can easily do this. Now the Barbarian Heart getting a big comeback, 8% increased health, more duration, and that's about it, but it should be enough. The card isn't really too weak, it just needs a bit of a grace added to it. Guards and Ice Wizard getting more damage, which is good because those cards are kind of under the radar. And lastly, the Dark Prince getting a 20% range. I don't know how this is going to work. Like, will he hit cards without showing that he's hitting them? Will they make his staff longer? It is hard to tell. And then Inferno Dragon getting a tile increase of 0.5, meaning it can lock onto towers a lot quicker, and also its retarget speed is getting increased, so you can't distract this card with a skeleton army anymore because it will hose down those skeletons with a very fast retargeting system. Other cards like the Bomb Tower and Battle Ram and Tesla card are getting huge increases because, let's be honest, Battle Ram was a very underwhelming card. Bomb Tower was great, but then they nerfed it really hard that it kind of became obsolete, and the Tesla Tower is making a huge comeback. This defensive card is a hard counter to the Royale Giant, because if you guys don't know, when the Royale Giant attacks a Tesla Tower, it has to come in range of its attack, which is great, meaning that you can get a nice positive 1-2 trade when you do put down your Tesla Tower on the Royale Giant. And also to mention, the Executioner stun bug is getting removed, so it can't stun cards anymore. It only has a decent splash effect. Now that was a very long and information-packed video. If you guys enjoyed the content, then leave a like on the video. Let's smash 550 likes on today's episode, because remember, yesterday's episode, in under 8 hours, 3.2k likes. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for the support, and let's keep on breaking the game with some more epic Clash Royale content. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.